Welcome back yet again to another episode of Fever Soundbox. My name is Supriya. फिर एक बार we are here with an independent artist to actually explore and find out the magic they're trying to bring in through their music. आज हमारे साथ in this episode joining us is Manthan. Manthan, welcome finally to Fever Soundbox.
I'm glad to be here.
First, I want to actually peep into your Instagram bio. It says something very interesting which I'd like to share. Of course, it says an economist who plays with melodies. Would you please explain that?
So, both the journeys were unplanned. I never thought I'll be doing music. I never thought I'll be doing economics. I wanted to be an engineer. So, both these things came accidentally into my life, and both the things blended my journey.
Okay.
So, when I'm studying economics, I'm learning a sort of music in a way to deal with like stage fright, and there's so many other things, allied things besides performing and making music.
Yeah.
And with music also, I'm learning the patience because when we have seminars and research and everything, the things you learn with the audience and everything, that works out there.
Wow. Interesting. That's actually nice. And I love it how you put it out there. You just merge both the worlds on your Instagram, which I feel is really, really interesting. Would you like to just share your Instagram handle once with everyone?
Sure, it's called @say Manthan. It's a French word. @CEST Manthan.
What does say mean?
Say means hi, or you can say just hello, or it's
Oh,
Manthan.
say. Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay, cool. So that's where you can find him, his work, his world. Do check it out. But I'd love to know, how did music become a part of your journey?
Music, I think, as a child has been imbibed in me because of the family around. They loved music. So there wasn't a particular genre of music which I was stick by to. Gradually, with the English music, when I think about it,
Right.
I remember back in 2006 or 7, my aunt brought this cassette which was having few tracks by Venga Boys.
Oh, yeah.
And Brazil was the hit, I think, across India.
Wow. Okay.
So I was listening to that track, the first track, English track I remember so far. After
Most
that,
of us remember Venga
yeah,
Boys as our first,
exactly.
English track. It was either that or go a bit more back was Ricky Martin, like Ricky Martin
Exactly.
songs, right? Yeah. Correct.
So the journey somewhere, I think, started from there, but there was a huge gap in between because I didn't listen much of English songs. Didn't get an exposure for that. Gradually, when I started listening, I got a peer who was listening to all the English tracks, and then I discovered Rihanna and other artists who were performing. And then came an idea all through, I think, around grade 11 and 12 that maybe we shall do something, create a band, maybe. And that's when the journey started, that to create something, maybe think about ideas to create my own stuff in the music.
Did you create a band?
It didn't work out. It's just that we were on the stage where everything was ready, and it was called by the name Blacklash. And it was going to be a rock band, but it didn't work out.
Oh, okay. Given a chance, would you have something like that happening for yourself now again? Or would you like to like fly solo sorts?
I don't know about the genre right now because I've completely shifted from that genre to pop and pop, alternate versions of pop. But I'm open to the idea in future. If things work out, I believe in the idea of saying never say never, no to anything.
Fair enough. You've heard a bunch of artists growing up. Which artist, let's start with global first, has been the biggest influence on you?
There will be two. I can't. It's like a tough choice for me because
Okay. Sure, two names work.
two of them belong to different periods. Zayn Malik, because I've been a fan of his band earlier, One Direction.
Right.
Then I've been a fan of his solo journey and as an artist when he emerged. So kind of a bit related because we were forming a band and we were thinking about a solo journey further.
Yes.
So the way he took that journey further and created his own things.
Correct.
So I wanted to create a kind of music based on that genre he's creating. So a little influence came from there. Other than that, I think Lana Del Rey was a huge influence for me. I know a lot of kids are influenced by the styles and aesthetic these days, but for me, Lana Del Rey is important for me as an artist because the consistency when I see. Back in 2011, when I used to tell people I like Lana Del Rey, they used to mention that what kind of artist you're listening to, we don't understand the music, what kind of music she's creating.
How difficult do you think it is being an independent artist in 2024?
It's been a tough journey because when I started off, it was the same period when I was in school and almost in the phase of college. I was accustomed to things which were growing. Say, YouTube is just there, so you just need to focus on YouTube. Instagram wasn't much of a platform where you need to promote your music.
Yeah.
So there was less of competition.
Yeah, it was more of a photo first platform, right?
Exactly.
Instagram. Yeah.
So less socials were there. There was a
Mhm.
certain way you need to upload your music and people can hear you out.
Correct.
But now I think there are different dimensions to it, different dimensions to how an artist is dealing with. So your
Mhm.
personal life isn't any more personal. One aspect was that. So you need to be very careful with about a lot of things besides the music you're creating.
Correct.
So those things have changed.
Mhm.
Musically speaking, when I think of it, definitely there's a lot of competition, but one thing which has worked out all through I've seen in the artists which have been performing then and right now, they have been true to their art. They've been doing their things honestly. So I think competition is going to be there in every field. It's just not music. Whichever profession we are into.
That's true.
There in the research, there's a lot of competition.
Yeah.
So we just need to be honest. And I think in the research, we say that there should be no plagiarism. Same as there with the music. Be original, be authentic.
I'm going to take you back to the previous question again. We've spoken about the global artists and the influence they've had on you. But when we speak of any Indian artist
Yes.
who has been a great inspiration for you, who would that be?
Multiple artists were there again, but I think I wouldn't say they influenced me to create music because my genre was totally different from that.
Right.
But I love listening to like the old school music, Lata Mangeshkar, Kishore Kumar, back in the era. Even the modern day artists, I think Shreya Ghoshal, Sunidhi Chauhan, Papan, Arijit Singh. So all these artists have been influenced in the way because there is a difference between the Western music and Indian music also.
Correct.
And the kind of जो we say बारीकियां होती हैं in the songs, they've mastered that thing. So which is like a pleasure to everybody as a listener.
Who's gonna be that dream collaboration for you, Manthan? Like, who would you pick to collaborate with?
Though we are planning for like the next year, we are planning, me and my producer again are working together for an EP.
Okay.
And we're trying to build something which is a blend of Indian music and the Western music. So there are plans and we're wishing to collaborate with a lot of people. But a few names which I say comes to my mind are, I think, the artists which are recently performing, say Jyoti Noora and all the folk artists who are performing. So I want to collaborate with like a lot more folk artists.
Oh, okay. That's nice. Yeah, that's actually it'll be really interesting to actually kind of hear as well because right now your music has kind of a Western touch to it. And to actually have something Indian and more cultural being, incorporated would be a lovely fresh sound, I believe. So, um, you know, now let's talk about By My Side, your song, right? And which is your most recent track. Okay, what inspired you about this song?
By My Side was again an unplanned song. It's just me and my friend Puneet. So we met in college. We never knew each other in the college. There were some common friends in between. So we know that he's creating poems and all that. He's writing poems. And I've been writing songs and planning to make us maybe start my journey as a solo artist soon. But things didn't work out then. Now, back in the days when COVID came through, that was the time people were reconnecting and a lot more new connections were building up. So we have enough time for, I think, thinking and pondering upon what we haven't done so far. That's the time when me and Puneet met again through socials and we decided like we'll write something. So Puneet had a certain bit of idea like this is the emotions we're gonna work about and write something. So I wasn't earlier very up to the idea because for me, if I'm writing something, I need to connect to that thing. Maybe I've experienced that thing in my life. And that's been the journey with the earlier two songs which I wrote.
Wow.
Those were my experiences. So here I was struggling through, and I think that's the reason we planned in 2021. But the writing took almost around till 2023 and 24 now. We've reached to the stage where we brought the song up for the all audience. And basic idea behind By My Side was that there was just one emotion which was common to both of us in our journeys individually. That sometimes there is a need of another person in your life. And even if the person is there, you're being made feel lonely. I remember there were Christmases and New Year's where I wanted the person to be there with me, but the person wasn't there. So that feeling that you shall be by my side was the basic emotion behind all of that.
You don't have your guitar right now, but if I ask you to sing a few lines of By My Side, could you do that for us?
Sure.
Go for it.
In my mind there's an endless loop which says you dug a grave for us two. I could have stayed a bit long, but I couldn't deal with your wrongs. I don't need a pep talks. I think there's a reason I just left on this because the major mystery behind this track begins after that. So we have just experimented a little bit, and I want the audience to just listen after that.
Well, that's one reason why you should go and listen to By My Side. When I heard it, the song came as a surprise because it always throws in the unexpected. Because usually you're very used to, like, acha, ha, okay, there's this one stanza, and then there's a transition, there's a high, there's a low. But here, suddenly there are like these breathable breaks, and it kind of gives you a second to sink in what you just said in the song, right? So
That
that's
was
what I felt.
unplanned. I think the transition wasn't planned.
Yeah.
It's just that, when we were sitting in the studios, I had a different idea, Sharad had a different idea.
Mm-hmm.
So I think when we sit in the studio, the entire idea changed because when we were producing the track. And
Right.
that sounded much better to us as an artist.
I think it sounds really new. It's something very new, something I haven't heard before in any song, and there's some calm to it, which is beautiful. What's your next move?
The next move is to release the fourth track, and that's called Reuse.
Okay.
So it's much more about my journey. I think everybody, including you as an artist, I think when we are in this world of show business where we have to show something, but maybe far behind the reality, a lot more going is within us. So I think Reuse is much more, I think, representation of us as an artist and everybody around who's in this show business. That there are two different worlds which we deal with. One the people are seeing and one is behind us.
Yeah.
And after that, we're planning, I think once that is done, we're planning for an EP. The entire EP will be coming up in December. And after that, the next year, we're planning to release that folk album, like in a mix of Indian and Western music together.
Yeah, I look forward to that.
Two more singles, probably, we're planning for that.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And I hope it all works out well for you. We look forward to the songs you create in the near future. A message you'd like to give to all the budding independent artists out there?
My message would be, I think, I've said this over and over, but I think be honest, be consistent. And a lot of people will be there to give you, I think, in my journey, I've seen personally that give you ideas and opinions that you shall be doing this thing. But I think if you have an instinct that you know what you want to do, you just need to follow that particular instinct and carry it on further. I think that's going to work out for sure.
That's amazing. Wise words. All right, that was Manthan on Fever Soundbox. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any requests, if you want to know more about Manthan, of course, you can ask any questions in the comments, but also make sure you go check out his Instagram, his YouTube, his songs, especially By My Side, which is his latest track. Keep a note of all the work that's coming up by Manthan in the near future, and thanks for watching.